At the end of this month, communication planet Mercury is going to turn retrograde, which it does 3 times a year for 3 weeks at a time. So the next Mercury retrograde phase will be from June 29 to July 23. I mean, sometimes people talk of this as a time of communication chaos, and it is worthwhile double checking correspondence, emails, tech stuff throughout the Mercury retrograde phase and making the big decisions before Mercury switches direction. That's kind of the go-to with Mercury retrograde. But I wanted to talk about this one a bit more because I think it's going to be quite special, and I think it's already special. And this is because Mercury is retrograde in Cancer, one of the water signs. I mean, Cancer, if you think about the zodiac symbol, the crab, the crab sidles sideways. It's got this tough shell, but a soft underbelly. And you can kind of hide away. A crab can go inwards and hide away. So the Mercury retrograde coming up could be a very good time for a cosmic snooze, a time to sort of rest and retreat. You might be feeling a bit shy. You might be feeling a bit vulnerable or a bit defensive and want to take some time out. Now, Mercury first moved into Cancer on June the 1st, and it's going to remain there until August the 9th. So this is also quite unusual because Mercury moves so fast. But this time it's spending this whole 2-month period in the star sign Cancer. And interestingly, I think these Mercury retrograde themes have already been kicking in. I had a few people contact me on around the beginning of this month, June, when Mercury first moved into Cancer, saying, what's going on? I had a friend who'd had 3 people from the past contact her, which is often a Mercury retrograde theme, and another friend who'd had a really challenging journey, very typical of Mercury retrograde. So it was interesting that kind of themes were kicking in. And then also for me, I've had this extraordinary experience last week while Mercury's been in Cancer, and it's now moved into its shadow phase. So it moved into its shadow phase on June 13, which means it's at the degree in the zodiac where it will turn direct. So it is now at 16 degrees Cancer. And I'm talking to you on June the 16th. So it's moving slowly now, getting ready to turn retrograde on June 29th at 26 degrees Cancer. And then 3 weeks later, July 23rd, it turns direct at 16 degrees Cancer. So again, right now in this weekend that's gone, there's these retrograde themes kicking in. So last week, I went to stay with an old friend of mine, one of my oldest friends, who is a double Cancerian. She's got the sun in Cancer, her ascendant sign's Cancer. And I was house sitting, dog sitting for her, which is very kind of, and I know this house, it's very Cancerian. It's full of kind of treasures from the past. And Cancer is this nostalgic, sentimental star sign. It's a place I've been many times over the years since our long connection. We met at university many moons ago. So, I realized this was quite a Mercury Cancer thing to do, to sort of retreat, and particularly with this, I think this retrograde theme already calling. And for me as well, Aries ascendant. So this whole time that Mercury's in Cancer, it's in my 4th house, home, family, past, nostalgia, sentiment. The weirdest thing happened is that she's a hoarder, she's a Cancerian, but she'd been sorting things out and she found this whole file of letters that I'd handwritten to her when she was abroad from 1992 to 1995. So, I was going through my first Saturn return. And I was telling her all about life in London, where we'd been together. And it was just incredible. It was like reading a novel. I mean, we used to handwrite pages and pages. I'd send her a letter every month while she was away. So on this week in the countryside, house sitting, dog sitting, back in my friend's house, which I know really well, I ended up reading all about my past, which is extraordinary. I mean, Mercury rules letters. So it was an extraordinary experience. And really, finally, for that, to say that you know, the other thing is it makes me realize that memory is so subjective. It's subjective, but memory, we also don't remember things the way they actually played out. You know, there were some things that I remember as being challenging. Reading these letters, they weren't. It was kind of easy. And other things that I thought had been easy and in flow, it was like, oh, this is actually a bit of an issue. So again, this really interesting theme of what is memory came up, and diving back into the past. So quite a long one here on this Mercury retrograde coming up. And I think with Mercury in Cancer, it's already pulling us back into the past. So see what it's about for you, how it's playing out. I've also written an article on Mercury retrograde, which will go live closer to the date it does go into retreat. All for now. Take care. Bye.